When first producing sound on the oboe, it's easier to sometimes just start by making a sound on the reed. So you can just take the reed off and practice buzzing. So with embouchure, it's a lot like the clarinet embouchure. So the reed is kind of held between the lips, which are kind of curled over the teeth. And the reed, you'll notice how it thins. It has a thin part at the top and the thick part at the bottom. You want to make sure that the reed is placed at least this much into your mouth. Any further and it could cause intonation problems. And if it's too far out from your mouth, it could also cause problems with intonation. But yeah, so I'm going to demonstrate the embouchure. So notice that the corners of my mouth are kind of pulled in more than they would be with clarinet, but it's pretty much the same band face, as you could call it. So with posture, you want to make sure that your feet are flat on the floor and that you are not slouched over. And with breathing, with any woodwind instrument, you want to make sure that you're engaging your core muscles, which are the muscles in your stomach. So to practice that, you want to place your hand on your stomach and just practice taking a few deep breaths. And kind of practice expanding your lungs by using your stomach and then kind of pushing out your air with your stomach versus kind of in your throat, and that could cause problems with intonation. So with oboe, as I said, it's easier to start with making sound on just the reed only, but once you've mastered that, you can attempt to make sound on the instrument. So with hand placement, it's a lot similar to the clarinet and the saxophone and the flute, where your left hand is placed above your right hand, and your thumb on your right hand is kind of placed underneath the thumb rest there, right there on your knuckle, and your left hand kind of your thumb kind of rests right underneath the octave key for now. So you just want to take your left index finger, rest it on this key here, your middle finger on this key, your ring finger on this key, and then with your right hand, just gently rest your index here, your ring here, your middle here, and your ring here. And with the pinkies, they kind of just want to get used to being down here. It can be very awkward at first with the hand positions, as many people's pinkies aren't used to stretching that far, but over time it will become more comfortable. So once you have your posture correct and you feel comfortable breathing while using your core, you can try to take a deep breath and try to produce a sound on the oboe. So long tones are very effective at getting your face muscles used to forming the embouchure, as well as getting your lungs used to the volume of air and the air speed and the air pressure. So yeah, that is the basics of creating sound on the oboe. So articulation with oboe is pretty straightforward. It's really similar to the clarinet, where the tip of your tongue is kind of touching the tip of the reed, but also kind of like the roof of your mouth. You don't want to block too much of the reed with your tongue, or else the sound might be cut off. And you want to prevent completely killing off like the vibrations of the reed with your articulation. So kind of just practice articulation on long tones. You can do this just on the reed or on the whole oboe, but it could be helpful to do it just on the reed at first. So yeah. And then on the oboe, it should sound like. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward with articulation.